McConnell. The chair recognizes Alderman Vasquez.
Being in this room right now has got me believing in vaccination side effects when I'm looking at the levels of dissonance that border on hypocrisy. We've got people talking about people being afraid in the streets and heart palpitations. That's what COVID does. We've had 2 years of having to shut down our city because people were getting sick, dying, and catching cases. We talk about first responders and people in ambulances. They were the ones seeing people being carted off from their homes sick and dead when New York had morgue vehicles. That's what we were living through the last 2 years, and people are acting as though it didn't happen. The conversation we're talking about is about public safety. And every single time we've got members here, the first thing they're saying is, I'm vaccinated, we have to keep everybody safe. Yeah, so you understand the value of getting vaccinated, and so does the majority of the Chicago Police Department, the fire department, and all the first responders we're talking about. This is not about the departments, it is about a fringe minority in those groups pushing an agenda, and it is embarrassing. We're Chicago, this isn't Arkansas. I don't even get it. This idea that we're somehow diminishing the American way. George Washington mandated vaccinations for smallpox in 1777. It wasn't 50 years of research that led to that. It was leadership. You have to make tough decisions. We understand that. We want people safe. The same folks who were telling us about following the laws and complying and not resisting, they've talked about that for decades. They couldn't even put masks on when we had a mask mandate. And here we are right now having a debate about health and safety. I know this council better than that. I know the conversations we've all had. I was not confused about my colleague being vaccinated. I know there's plenty of people here who are, but love to talk about that to their constituents because they think it makes them look tough and they're backing the police. It's not the truth. The majority of officers are vaccinated and have reported, and out of the ones that haven't, I know there's a fraction of those that are vaccinated but don't want to come out publicly because the rest of their colleagues want to make it a laughingstock. It is a joke. We don't believe it. This is about politics since day one. It is about John Catanzara being a little Trump-like Pied Piper, vaccinated himself, telling people not to do it. And they had October 25th here in City Hall looking like January 6th in DC. It is a joke. So if you really want to talk about public safety and you want people to be safe, then have our officers get vaccinated. Not that hard. They're brave. They're out there on the most difficult nights. They're defending people. So taking a shot to get vaccinated, yeah, add that to the level of bravery. And if you can't do that, then you have a religious exemption or a medical one, because those are very valid reasons. There's a process to do so. So I completely understand that everyone here wants our city to be safe. We all do. We understand that our neighbors are scared and that anything that appears to be a lack of support from our first responders, from police, adds to that fear. We agree with that. All this parliamentary and let's talk about ordinance, you want to make things safer? Tell the cops to get a shot. Get vaccinated, right? That's part of the job. Part of the city's role as an employer is to be able to make those decisions. So this isn't removing anybody's right or liberty. They have every choice not to get vaccinated. There are consequences for those choices. That's also part of the job. So respectfully, because I have a lot of love for our colleagues here, we know better because we have the conversations with each other. Let's not position ourselves and say it's not about politics when that's all some members are doing here because their constituents are scared. We get that you're scared. That's why we're asking our first responders to get vaccinated. If you don't want to do it, you've got exemptions, you've got a grievance process. Everything else is theater. Thank you, Mayor.